coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. And this is going to be a big video because I'm going to be covering some stuff I haven't talked about much, and there's a lot of things happening, and there's a couple stuff I want to address. Number one, I'm going to address the launch of Eternalized AI. I'm going to give you kind of a little show, nothing crazy long, but just to show you kind of what we've got going on and what's coming. We're going to go over Bitcoin's price, what's been happening this week, and how it aligns with a pattern that I think is going to be very relevant as we continue moving forward in the market. We're also going to go over Cardano's price, and not necessarily price predictions, but just how easily the price could reach between $16 and $32. No bullshit. Okay. And we're going to touch on some stuff that I think is going to be pretty important for all of you guys. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video. You're going to want to see it. The first thing I want to touch on is Eternalized AI. We have officially launched the platform. Now, I know that OpenAI has launched a new LLM, and I think they've made some changes that we're adapting to right now, and it's all for the better because Eternalized is answering questions a lot faster, and I guess there's some really cool things that are happening, but we're making some adjustments on our end. But ultimately, what it is right now is a collection of legacy models built off of some of your favorite YouTubers' channels. So if you go to any of our legacy models, you've got Wendy O, you've got myself, you've got Seth with Mind Your Biz, you've got Supoman, George Tung of Cryptos Are Us, you've got Crypto Zombie, Debate Crypto, and there's many others coming soon. We actually have a model coming that's built around all of the reports, the white papers, all of the documents that support Cardano. So that you're basically going to be able to go in and talk to the Cardano blockchain effectively and get specific answers to anything you want to know. You want to know about midnight. You want to know about this or that. You want something defined as an answer. Like what is Hydra? Whatever, right? So that you're not having to search through 100,000 documents, however many there are that are going into this model. You're not going to have to search through all that. You're going to be able to ask these questions in a conversational format and get direct answers. It's going to save people doing Cardano research a bunch of time. And we're going to be adding a lot more of these models about potentially other blockchains. You'll have to let me know in the comments below what are some of the blockchains you'd like to see so that you can talk to and do research and actually learn about these blockchains. And then we're going to be launching features that are going to enable anyone to be able to create their own conversational models through the system without the need of having a YouTube channel. As long as you have written works and you can feed it over time and it can learn and become who you are based off of your life history, your stories, and basically everything that you feed it. And then that's going to ultimately become a legacy model for you. And you're going to share that with your kids, your grandkids, and everybody for a lifetime. So that'll be very interesting. So that's all coming. Make sure you check it out. Obviously, we've got Crypto Face coming soon as well. We've got Crypto RC, James the Crypto Bull, a lot of stuff. All right. So make sure you check that out. Quick news. IRS is demanding $24 billion from FTX, which would ultimately take money away from collapse victims, lawyer says in a report. Does this surprise anyone? Since when does anybody in the government actually give two shits about anybody? FTX lawyers are pushing back against the U.S. Internal Revenue Service's efforts to claim billions of dollars in unpaid taxes from the bankrupt crypto exchange, according to a Bloomberg report. My question is, wouldn't they get it anyway? Even if they just let the people that were hurt get their money back, wouldn't they ultimately get the tax money anyway? Why do they have to screw so many people if that is the case here? Per the report, the FTX lawyers have said in a court filing that the IRS's demand for $24 billion in unpaid taxes would come at the expense of the victims of fraud at the bankrupt crypto exchange, unless the court shoots down the tax collection agency's bid. I'm curious how this would be taxable if it was all ultimately lost somehow. Citing a court filing, Bloomberg says that FTX's lawyers have argued that the bankrupt crypto exchange owes no taxes to the IRS as it repeatedly recorded losses over its 3-year lifespan. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was all a bunch of losses to begin with. The lawyers also argue that any funds that FTX would be forced to pay to the IRS would harm the victims of the bankrupt exchange. According to Bloomberg, the IRS and FTX will this week fight it out in court to determine how much of the former's claim is legitimate. While FTX is reportedly aiming for a quick schedule to estimate the IRS's claim, the tax collection agency says its audit of the bankrupt crypto exchange is ongoing and that it is therefore inappropriate to ask the court to estimate FTX's tax liabilities. Man, IRS. Nothing certain but death and taxes. All right, so we're going to look at a Bitcoin's price here and what's been happening. And I'm going to show you this system that I've been adopting. And basically what I've been doing is I've been breaking down each week, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. And then we have the market opens and closing for Asia, the UK, and the US. And within this system of time, I'm seeing patterns, and I'm seeing these patterns because I've been following a gentleman by the name of Stacy Burke. Check him out on YouTube. You know, I love to spread the joy. I watch so many different videos and training and so many different things where I'm always learning. I'm learning about trading. And the Stacy Burke has the system where he breaks everything down to the week. And he explains that Monday is typically the day that sets the trading channels for the week up to Wednesday. Okay, so we might start a downtrend on Monday, right? So we'll have a few days in the open on the US market, and then we'll typically either crash or we'll rise up. And then that'll carry into a trading channel through Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, we typically reverse that trend into Thursday and complete it Friday. So by that measure, we'll see if this is accurate, because ultimately what this is saying is we got a significant downturn on Monday. We came back up, set the highs and the lows for the trading period, the 3-day trading period. And then we started to rise up on Wednesday from basically early this morning. Okay. We started to rise up. We set a new peak high for Wednesday. We came down. I actually caught a short trade off of this peak because the second it hit and it started to reverse on a 1-minute chart, I set a short, which was profitable on my Fairdesk account. I sold it way too early, though. I got out. It should have been a huge trade. I didn't follow it all the way down. But I did see that by the time we got here, I knew it was probably going to go lower. I got out because I expected it to potentially bounce off of this support range and come back up, but it didn't do that. It came through, closed under it, and then I realized, okay, it's going to bounce off of this moving average line here, and it did. It moved up. Now we've closed above it again, or closed above it where I expected us to be here, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I think that we're likely going to range and move up as we get into Thursday. Thursday, we'll probably set a new high here Wednesday. I'm guessing we might end up somewhere above the 42,000 mark by the close of business today, at which point we'll range a little bit through Thursday, and then Friday we might get a significant kickoff above 43,000. I don't know, okay? I'm not trading that. I'm just saying that based off of the way the system is and the way the beginning of the week has started out, where we're at now and what I think could potentially happen, you'll have to let me know in the comments if I'm right about this, because if I am, then you know, this is just a full week cycle of how the price action plays out. And a lot of this has to do with how the market makers move the Bitcoin price over time and their system. Now, I'm going to hazard a guess and further say that I am willing to bet that there's some way that this system lines up with a Wyckoff accumulation and distribution, but I haven't gotten that far yet. And Stacy Burke hasn't said anything about that yet in his course, but I am slowly learning and I'm adopting these practices in my own trading. And at some point, I'm going to put it all together in one big video. Everything that I've discovered that works, that seems to really line up with the price activity, that seems to be able to help traders learn the markets and how they work. And I'm going to put it in very simple terms in an ABCD kind of fashion in a very big video one of these days. But I want to make sure that I've got everything figured out and I fully understand everything before I try and share it in ways that people will understand. But that's ultimately what I've been working on now for the past month. It's just kind of learning a lot of this stuff. And if we look further, excuse me, we can see. Now, this is my crypto crow indicator. We can see we got a weak flying crow here. This is on a 15-minute candle, right? And we got it up here and it did reverse, but this is what I see often. Typically, when I get one of these signals, one way or another, it ends up going in the direction that it calls for. Sometimes the time structure of it is off. So, again, this is just a weak signal. Is a 3-point confluence signal of multiple indicators triggering at the same time in either a bullish or bearish pattern. So that's what I think may very well be happening. Cardano has been doing exceedingly well. I mean, it's up like, let's take a quick look. Let's see, what is this? Okay, that's another article. So this is my watch list of cryptocurrencies, just stuff that I've had a casual interest in. Look at number one. Number one over the last 7 days is Avalanche. Okay, I don't own any Avalanche. It's currently trading at $38.29. But Booyakashan for Avalanche doing exceedingly well. And guess who's number two? Look at that. Pretty. 36.60% over 7 days. Okay. And if you look at the whole market as a whole, Cardano is one of the biggest earners over the last 7 days. Why is that? Because as I've said for years, Cardano does its own thing. It doesn't follow the typical trends of the rest of the market. What's third on my list? World Mobile Token at 24.46%, currently trading at 18 cents. That's a beautiful thing. Of the gaming tokens that I like, I've got Sandbox in here. I've got Decentraland. Decentraland's down, currently trading at 48 cents. Of all of these tokens that I have in here, look at what number one is of my watch list. Cornucopias Kopi token, currently trading at 9 freaking cents, people, up 17.27%. Can I get a Booyakashan? Because that is a beautiful sight to see. I've been talking about Cornucopias once again since it was a penny. At some points, I think it even hit like a fraction of a penny, and the volume has been rising. I mean, the last time when I did my Cornucopias video, the trading volume was at 250,000 a day. I did a video, and then I know Cryptos R Us followed up with another video, and over the course of just a few days, the volume was up to over like $2 million. It's settled a bit, but it's still settled at over $825,000 in trading volume on a 24-hour period. Folks, it's time for this to hit a centralized exchange, if not one, but multiple centralized exchanges. Let's see that happen. In order for these guys to get a strong centralized exchange listing that is ultimately going to help liquidity, and it's going to help bring in all of the people in the crypto market that don't utilize DEX platforms to acquire tokens and don't want to deal with bridging and don't want to deal. I mean, think about it. The price has been rising with an entry gate that's really for the pros. Okay, if you hold Kopi token right now, it's probably because you are some form of veteran in the crypto space, because you acquired it on a DEX platform. You probably bridged tokens from one blockchain to another, yada yada yada. But when this hits into centralized exchanges, we're going to start seeing everyone else rush in to Kopi token, and we're going to see significant increases in price. I still think we could hit $2 in 2025. That's my guess. I'm sticking to it. Hedera H-bar up 12.34%. I love it. Currently trading at 7 cents. Cosmos Atom has been kind of stagnant a little bit. I mean, not really. It's been doing well, trading at 11 cents. That's not bad, up 10% on the week. And you know, listen, I mean, well, Solana trading at $67. I swear, I feel like the last time I looked at it, it was $20. It's down a bit. It's up 5.72% on the week. That's just fine. Excuse me. Divi token has not been doing very well. Trading volume on Divi token, $122,000. That's nothing. I used to hold a lot of Divi token. It took me weeks to get out of it. I mean, it took forever because the volume just isn't low. You've got to set a limit order. And like, if you have any significant amount whatsoever, you just have to let it sit and wait for the orders to fill. And it just takes a really, really long time. And that's just no fun way to trade. I still like the guys at Divi token. I like the project, but ultimately it's just not performing exceedingly well just yet, and it's been years, so let's be real. Like, I'd love to have seen some significant use cases. The wallet was great, everything about it is great, it's just not catching the adoption that many of us has hoped. But the current market cap's 13 million. A lot of people are buying and they're powering up masternodes to generate more tokens, but the volume is just not that good. I'd love to see that rise up though. Theta Network currently trading at $1.05, down about 2.5% over the week, but pretty significant trade volume. $20 million, $20.5 million a day in trade volume. And Ethereum currently trading at 2,200, down almost 3% on the week. I mean, it's just not doing that great. Telcoin, my good old friend Telcoin, trading at just 0.002 pennies. Okay, this is, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. This to me is like it's not necessarily a meme coin, but we'll see what happens. It's still, I mean, almost $900,000 in trade volume, but still not that good in trade volume. We definitely want to see more than that. So anyway, that's the way the cookie's crumbling, according to my watch list. A lot of my top picks are performing top shape, and I'm glad to see it. Cardano currently trading at 60 cents. I think that we could potentially see 75 cents. We might even see a 75 cent breaker by Friday. And I'm not saying we're going to, but I'm saying we could. And we could see $1. Could you imagine Cardano at $1 by the end of December, going into the new year 2024 at $1? That would just be, man, that would make me feel like a king. It would make me feel like a priest of the cult of Cardano. All right, now we're going to get into some calculations here. I'm going to show you guys some cool stuff. Now, make sure you check out Eternalized. Okay, do me a favor, check out Eternalized.ai. Join the newsletter at the very least, and start using it, because this is going to start shaping up quite a bit, and we definitely want everybody's support. We want you guys to use it, and let me know in the comments if you've used it, if you're trying it, what you're using it for. We're currently doing some studies on use case, because I really want to know, how are you finding Eternalized.ai useful? Let me know in the comments below. Really, I'll heart all of them. I really want to know. And you can also, of course, follow me on Ko-Fi, and you know, just read a lot of my blog posts and a lot of the stuff that I post here. So check that out. All right, getting to the Cardano calculations, the Cardano price predictions, if you will. Although this isn't necessarily a prediction, just explaining how things could happen. So number one, the total value staked right now of Cardano is 22.96 billion ADA. That is 65.58% of the total supply is currently staked on nodes, which means it is not available on exchanges. It's not locked. Okay, so keep in mind it's not locked. And yes, you'll notice as I get closer to the screen, my eyes are still bad, but I did go to the doctor. I've got ointments and drops and everything, and it is starting to get a little better, but they said it might take a week to 2 weeks for my eyes to get back to normal. So it's pretty bad, and it's just draining. It's extremely draining. I'm like tired all the time. I'm sleeping a lot. It's just like, oh my gosh, I just feel not good at all. So here's what it is. All right. Now, if there are two different cases, let's just say we got to a $5 trillion market capitalization. If we got to a $5 trillion Bitcoin market cap and we only got to a 4% ADA dominance, what does that mean? When we typically calculate market capitalization for Cardano, we do it based off of the entire market cap, right? But how many people have been delegating their Cardano to nodes with the expectation that they're building a passive yield over 10 years. I have talked to so many people who have bought Cardano en masse, have it staked to nodes, and they're just appreciating that 4.5%, maybe 5% yield every epoch, okay, or every year annually, broken up by epoch. And they're accumulating it for 10 years. They're looking at it as a form of retirement fund. Okay. And let me know in the comments how many of you guys are doing this, because I know that I've talked to quite a few of you that are. And you're not worried about the ebbs and flows of the price. You're not worried about the highs and lows. You're worried about long-term, what is the price going to be, and how many ADA have you accumulated over time. You're not selling because you think you're like, I've found the blockchain I think is going to revolutionize the world of blockchain tech, and I'm going to make sure that I have it when it really hits. Now, that being said, at the height of a peak, I know we had over 70% staked to nodes, but we're just going to use these numbers. 65.58% of the total supply is staked. So I'm going to share this graphic and we're going to show you exactly what this means. So if the total staked is 22.96 billion, that doesn't leave that much. That leaves an unstaked supply of 12,367,632,000, etc. Now, if ADA were to just get back to a 4% dominance, which we've seen Cardano's dominance rise above it, I actually think we might end up somewhere between 5 and 7% dominance at the peak of this market, personally. So this could still even be relative. I mean, it could all average out by the time I've explained everything. If we got to a 6% dominance against Bitcoin. But if we had a $5 trillion market cap in Bitcoin and ADA had 4% dominance of the market and that money flowed in, that would be a $200 billion market cap. If we calculated that $200 billion market cap against the 12.3 billion in unstaked supply, meaning that is the money that's moving the market while everything else is set up in a vault, accruing interest over time, that alone could bring Cardano's price to $16, folks. If we got to a $10 trillion market cap, then the numbers would double. With a $400 billion market capitalization against the unstaked supply of 12.3 billion, we'd end up with a $32 ADA. Now, from here, it's about sentiment. It's about what are you trying to do long-term with your ADA? If the price rose to $8, do you start to sell? Do you take it off of the nodes and start to liquidate? Are you using that money to change your life in the short term, or are you holding long for the next cycle where maybe you make 3 times as much in a matter of a few years? What is your ultimate goal for ADA? Are you looking to buy the bottom and sell the peak, rinse and repeat like I have been? Or are you looking to just hold tight, keep your taxes at bay until you've officially cashed out? What is your goal? Let me know what you guys think you're going to do if the price rises. What is, because a lot of people say, what do you plan on doing and when? And I always tell people, it depends on what happens at what time. If the Cardano's price gets to $3 3 months after the halving, and I know we've got a long way to go until the market peaks, I'm not selling. If the market gets to $10, let's look at it, okay? Because it's all relative to time. And that's basically what it boils down to. Let me find my Cardano chart. I'm going to break this down a little bit here. Where is my ADA chart? I have to find it. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. All right. I don't know where my ADA chart is. So I must have done something with it. But regardless, it doesn't matter. Let's look at it on a weekly. We'll look at Bitcoin on a weekly chart, and that should help me break things down. Oh yeah, I forgot about my little prediction bars pattern there. I wonder what that looks like right now. You can see my weeks, my week lines. All right, so let's make this a little bit bigger. Wow, this is so small. That's interesting. Yeah, so this purple line is a bars pattern for what was happening in the 2017 market, and we're getting rather than it be kind of a, well, it is kind of flatlined here. That's about what we're doing here. That's interesting. I might have to cover that in another video and kind of go over that in a little more detail. And then that was the breakdown of a Wyckoff pattern that played out identically. There's a lot of stuff in my old charts on bigger time frames that I forgot about. But you can see here, man, I mean, according to this bars pattern, we're already performing significantly better than we were in 2017 in terms of like price changing and price fluctuation. So that's pretty interesting. So anyway, but the halving is going to be in April of 24, which is right here. If Cardano were to get to like we can see here, August 24th, if Cardano's price got to $10 there, and I know that we're likely going to have, quite a while to go until the potential halving in 2025, and none of the numbers are adding up to say, yeah, we're probably getting ready to peak, I'm not selling. It's all it boils down to. So that's that's really what matters to me. It's all relative to the time frame. And, honestly, for me too, it's a matter of, how has Cardano's price performed against Ethereum and against Bitcoin? And I'm going to cover some of that stuff likely in a video tomorrow, where I'm going to go over that in a little more detail. But in a nutshell, that's what I'm looking for. I'm very curious to see, what is your sentiment, especially those of you who've been with me and been in the crypto space with me since 2017. How are you guys looking at the crypto market, and what are you guys planning to do at what time, depending on the price action? So that's all I got for today. I just kind of wanted to share some information with everybody, and hopefully this finds you well. My eyes are slowly getting better, but hopefully, it's going to take some time, but hopefully it's sooner than later. Thanks for joining me, folks. Until next time, guys, crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.